Good morning and welcome to the Standing Committee meeting for Wednesday, December 2nd, 2020. That's not the correct date.
December 9th.
December 9th. Thank you. I apologize. Meeting and public announcements. Budget hearings will continue virtually this afternoon at 1:30 p.m. with the Department of Human Services. Uh, Our first order of business is public comment. I would like to remind all speakers that the rules of council state that comments are limited to matters of concern, official action, or deliberation, which are or may be before city council. Profanity will not be permitted. May we please have our first speaker, which I believe is Eva Conrad. Let me check. Is Eva Conrad with us? I don't see the name.
Yeah,
Um, we will come back. That takes us to our next speaker, which is Christina Howe. It is Christina Howe with us. I also don't see that name. That takes us to our next speaker, which is Kim Teplitsky. Teplitsky, excuse me. Kim Teplitsky.
Hi, yes, you got it.
Thank you.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Kim Teplitsky, and I'm the president of the Polish Hill Civic Association. Wanted today to speak about a lot of conversations we've been having in the neighborhood about racial justice and public safety as it relates to the city's operating budget. Within our neighborhood, we've been doing a lot of work around these issues, including neighborhood meetings, community health and wellness survey, conversations with adjacent community benefit organizations about public health and safety issues, and especially those that have a major impact on Black and Brown lives. Our public safety survey was a qualitative survey and included many opinions across a range of views, but we wanted to share a couple of answers that we received that we believe were representative of a good portion of the responses that we got overall, and I think speak directly to how the city might consider setting funding priorities for this year's budget. First response that I'll share is this one. One of our neighbors said, "It would be great to have caseworkers, maybe a small agency with people to assist people who are experiencing homelessness, unemployment, food insecurity, etc. It would be important to also have mental health workers who are trained in trauma-informed care, providing support for survivors of intimate partner violence, sexual violence, and child abuse, and who are also versed in addiction and more intensive mental illness needs, like schizophrenia and personality disorders." Another response we received that, again, I think echoes a lot of what we heard overall. "It's hard to know who to call when certain neighbors are having fights. That sometimes includes what sounds like domestic violence or the run up to that, especially if children are in the house. I've never called the cops. I've intervened myself, which feels risky, but seems like the right thing to do. I find it hard to connect with other parents and people right now because of the pandemic." I wanted to share those responses because I think that they show some ideas and thinking around where we believe the city's budget needs to be focused. Many residents reported that they do see the police as an important part of the solution in terms of public safety, as one of the many resources that helps make a community safe. But that doesn't mean that our residents don't also advocate for change and improvement. Our neighborhood voted overwhelmingly to approve expanded powers for the CPRB in the most recent election. And overwhelmingly, we heard from our neighbors that they want to be involved in safety and wellness changes that happen in our neighborhood and our city. People want to be part of the solution, and they think that building community is a key part of this puzzle. We also want to have an honest conversation about how the city decides to allocate the limited public funds available, especially when the budget's going to be taking such a big hit. Many residents believe that there are more dire shortfalls when it comes to funding people and programs that might play a vital role in public safety, that might play as vital of a role in public safety as the police, but might not be traditionally prioritized. Also, in speaking with our Black and brown neighbors, we've heard that they want to limit their interactions with police because of the real threat of violence that exists in those systems. In order to meet these community needs, we asked the city to consider diversifying the public safety budget and reallocating resources towards program and staffing that provide more supportive and holistic responses to the health and safety issues in our communities, and ensuring that our communities are part of the conversation and part of the solution going forward. Thank you so much for.
Thank you very much for your remarks. Our next speaker is Lizzie Anderson.
Hi, everyone. I'm actually with Kim, so I'll just defer to what she just shared and you can move on to the next person. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much. That means we will go back to see if Eva Conrad is on the line. Which I still do not believe I see. Therefore, we'll go on to Christina Howe to see if she made it on. Whom I also do not see. Therefore, we have exhausted our list of registered speakers, which means we'll move on to our standing committee agenda. Will the clerk please take the roll?
Reverend Burgess.
Here.
Mr. Coghill. Ms. Gross.
Here.
Mr. Kraus.
Here.
Mr. O'Connor.
Here.
Mrs. Kell Smith. Ms. Strasburger.
Here.
Mr. Wilson.
Here.
Mr. Lavelle Jr.
Here.
7 members present.
Thank you. Our first committee for today is Finance and Law, which is chaired by myself. We have the first new paper, which is Bill 938.
Bill 938, resolution authorizing pursuant to Chapter 210 of the City Code, the mayor and director of the Department of Innovation and Performance on behalf of the city to accept a donation of professional services from Value Capture LLC to provide education and coaching on leader learning in turbulence times via virtual sessions, to include one-on-one and group session of pro bono work over a 3-month period with an estimated value of $17,500, and further authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of Innovation and Performance to enter into an agreement with Value Capture LLC to set forth the terms of such services.
Motion to approve. Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Bill 939.
Bill 939, resolution further amending resolution number 840 of 2019, effective December 23rd, 2019, as amended, entitled Resolution Adopting and Approving the 2020 Capital Budget and the 2020 CDBG Program and the 2020 through 2025 Capital Improvement Program, so as to identify specific projects in City Council District 5, remaining citywide programs, and authorize a subsequent agreement for operation, administrative expenses, maintenance, purchase of equipment, and/or rehabilitation of neighborhood facilities on behalf of the residents of the city.
Motion to approve. Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill is recommended. That takes us to our invoices. We need a motion to approve the invoices.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Invoices are approved. That takes us to our interdepartmental transfers. We need a motion for those.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Transfers are approved. I believe we have P cards. Yep, we have P cards for approval today.
Motion to approve. Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? P cards are approved. That takes us to Public Safety Services Committee, chaired by Mr. O'Connor. One new paper, Bill 940.
Bill 940, resolution authorizing the city's Department of Public Safety to purchase Lafayette polygraph equipment and accessories from Lafayette Instrument Companies, Inc. at a cost not to exceed $15,511.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill is recommended. That takes us to our Human Resources Committee chaired by Councilman Kraus. First new paper, Bill 936.
Bill 936, resolution amending Resolution 45 of 2020, which authorized the city to enter into a professional services agreement with consultants and/or service providers for professional services in connection with civil service and MPOETC required assessment and evaluation of public safety candidates by increasing the total to not exceed amount by $30,000 to cover services at the beginning of 2021.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Bill 937.
Bill 937, resolution amending Resolution 257 of 2018, which provided for a contract for consultant services with Industrial Organizational Solutions, Inc. for services related to the firefighter recruitment process by increasing the not to exceed amount by $26,400.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion?
No,
Seeing
thank you.
none, thank you. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Bill is recommended. That takes us to Land Use and Economic Development Committee chaired by Councilman Wilson. First new paper, Bill 943. Actually, can we read 943 and 944 together?
Absolutely. Bill 943, resolution providing for the designation as a historic structure under Title 11 of the Code of Ordinances, that certain structure known as the VA Facility Chapel Building 10, located at 7181 Highland Drive in the 12th Ward of the city. The city will be the future owner of these properties, and there has been no objection to the nomination of this property by the owner. Bill number 944, resolution providing for the designation as a historic structure under Title 11 of the Code of Ordinances, that certain structure known as the VA Facilities Laboratory Building 13, located at 7180 Highland Drive in the 12th Ward of the city.
Motion to approve, motion to hold for Cablecast public hearing 943 and 944.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Bills will be held. That
Chair.
takes us to, yes,
I just want to make a comment. I just want to thank city planning. As you can see, the last line on each of the pieces of legislation, there's a line, and they've worked with me to include whether or not the owner of the property has put forth any objection. So going forward, we should see that line.
thank you. That'll be very helpful.
Yeah, just keep us on the same page for transparency.
Sure. Thank you. Next is Innovation Performance and Asset Management, chaired by Councilwoman Strasburger. First new paper is Bill 941.
Bill 941, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of Innovation and Performance to enter into an agreement with Beyond 20 and Cherwell to provide and implement an ITSM system to license, implement, manage, operate, and deliver IT services to meet the needs of the city at a sum not to exceed $542,731.80.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? Bill is recommended. That takes us to Bill 942.
Bill 942, resolution amending Resolution number 31 of 2020, authorizing the Department of Innovation and Performance to enter into a contract with QSIN Technologies, Inc. for the purchase of constituent relationship management software services necessary for the operations of the city's 311 response line by extending the term for 3 additional years and by increasing the authorized spending amount by $173,938.85.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Let the record reflect we've also been joined by Councilman Coghill. That takes us to our last committee of the day, Intergovernmental Affairs Committee, chaired by Councilwoman Gross. First deferred paper, Bill 634.
Bill 634, resolution adopting plan revisions to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewer facilities plan for proposed land development located at 316 South Highland Avenue at the parcel number 84K260.
Madam Clerk, you can read the next bill as well. We're going to hold them both.
Okay, Bill 767, resolution adopting plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewer facilities plan for the 5803 Center Avenue residential retail development.
Motion to hold 6 weeks.
Need a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Both bills will be held 6 weeks. That takes us to our new papers, Bill 934.
Bill 934, resolution adopting plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewer facilities plan for the flats on Forward LP 5824 Forward Avenue.
Motion to approve a discussion.
Second.
Actually, so I don't have an update on this one. We were trying to find some research on it. It looks like it doesn't have its building permits, but it's not in my council district. So I was just going to defer to probably Councilman O'Connor. Is he here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
That's the flats on Forbes, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, so this is actually a good project. It's phase 2. If everybody remembers where Polize was.
Yeah.
This is phase 2. We are knocking down the already existed or was the movie theater. And it's going to be another probably 30 plus units of affordable housing right in Squirrel Hill. We do have a project in the back, Mayburn Road collapsed. There used to be a steam plant in the hillside, so we have to fill that in and then build phase 2. I believe they already got most of the RCAP, and now it's more technical things we have to go through. So everybody's supportive. Thank you for,
Councilman.
yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Bill is recommended. Bill 935.
Bill 935, resolution authorizing the approval of the 2021 Housing Opportunity Fund Annual Allocation Plan, Council Districts All.
Motion to approve a discussion.
Second.
Thank you. I just wanted to say that I'm so impressed by how the Housing Opportunity Fund has been there for people, especially needing cash assistance in this emergency. And for honestly, the work that the URA is doing as well to divert the funds that we gave it from the CARES Act, also to cash assistance and emergency assistance, where they've been able to help people stay in their homes. With that, I'll defer to members. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Anyone else? If not.
Yes, Chair.
Oh, I'm sorry, Councilman Wilson.
Sorry, I've been going with the hand up in the past, but I think we've gone away with that. So I just had a question. Hi, Ms. Smith-Perry. I wanted to ask you about the allocations, and more specifically, just what I've been talking about recently was the small loans to landlords and the 9,000 people that we talk about that are, have a voucher, but they're on the wait list. So I was just kind of curious on, if there's any discussion about that whenever you're allocating these funds initially.
Sure. Yes. I mean, we have discussed that. We started a program about 6 months ago called the Small Landlord Program to help, smaller landlords that have, 4 or 5 units, fix them up and rent them affordably or rent them through Section 8. We've been working with the Housing Authority. They have started to make referrals to the program. You don't see it on this list because it's not sourced by a Housing Opportunity Fund. It's sourced by other funding that the URA has. But if it grows, it's very possible you see it on this list next year as it's a pilot program right now. But as it continues to grow, we'll be looking for additional resources. How's
that going? Or do you have, are they knocking down doors to get the loans, or is it not?
It's been a little bit of a slow start. I think, you know, we're trying to get the word out more. We're starting to publicize it more. The Housing Authority, you know, has recently started to advertise it. So we're going to close our first loan, I think, at the end of this week. But we have 5 or 6 others that have, you know, inquired. So I'm hoping that it picks up momentum.
Okay. And PNC is the one that's funding this.
That's correct.
So is there, in the future, do you think this is where we might, you know, pull funds from to bump up that program?
Yeah, I mean, it's entirely possible that the Housing Opportunity Fund would be used for that. You know, every year we reevaluate, we go through the plan with the community and get community input as to what they see as their, you know, needs. So it's entirely possible that next year you see a line item in there for this.
Mm-hmm. And can you just, the other question I had was, you know, as costs go up in general, I mean, this is 10 million. What's the, you know, is there a way to increase this over time?
I would love to. You tell me.
I wasn't here when the legislation was done, but I'm curious if there's a way to, you know, housing costs go up, everything goes up. So.
Sure. I mean, absolutely. You know, I'm looking at you on the screen. I'm looking at Councilman Lavelle, who is very involved. When we started this, you know, it was set up that transfer tax be increased by 0.5%, and then 2 years later it was increased by another 0.5%. That helps to fund the fund. It's not tied dollar to dollar to the fund. So, you know, we're just so appreciative of everything the city has given us. We're deploying it as fast as we can, especially with COVID right now. And, you know, if we had more money, we would just keep deploying as fast as we could.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for entertaining my questions. I'm going to keep asking the question about the small loan to landlords, because I think that's just a great way to, you know, have places that are fixed up in our neighborhoods, but then also, you know, we have those federal dollars that are sitting there, and you know, to get people to spend 30% of their income instead of 50%.
Yep.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other members?
And just quickly,
Mhm.
if I may, I see David on. David, I just want to acknowledge his professionalism. You know, every month or when applicable, I get notifications from David saying these are the projects that are before the URA board that affect the 3rd Council District. And I don't ever remember receiving those before until David assumed his position. And I just want to say how helpful that is and how much I appreciate his professionalism in keeping us updated to activities that take place on the URA board that affect the 3rd Council District. So thanks, David.
Thank you very much, Councilman. I appreciate that.
Thank you. We're still on first round. Anyone else for first round? If not, Councilwoman Gross, second round.
Councilman Wilson, I really appreciate you bringing up the small landlords. When we were doing the draft language for the structure of the trust fund, which we did spend a whole year on before you were on council, I fought really hard for there to be that language that would allow it to be loans to not only primary homeowners as the primary residents, but also the people who owned property locally. Because similarly, I always give the example that when you look at Bloomfield and you see all those little rooftops, it's a neighborhood of small independent dwellings, right? But that 65% of the population are renters. And those renters are living in basically naturally occurring affordable housing in those individual dwellings, single family dwellings. So it was a way, I think, that council did a really good job of structuring the trust fund for the Housing Opportunity Fund to meet Pittsburgh's housing needs. Whereas you would look at other cities like Austin or Orlando, and you don't have renters living in single family dwellings. You mostly have, renters living in buildings that look like apartment buildings. So I'm also looking forward to finding some ways that we can help local landlords pass through the savings to keep rents down. And it's been a goal I would love to work with you on. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Second round, Councilman Wilson.
I did the hand again. Yeah, no, that's great, Councilwoman. Just looking into this program, the small loan program for landlords, and Ms. Smith-Perriquet, correct me if I'm wrong, but there is I guess a contract that's signed where that has to maintain affordability for 10, 15 years.
For the small landlord program.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's also another nice aspect of that. So I'm going to continue to look into that. So, all right, thanks.
Thank you. Just let the record reflect, we've also been joined by President Smith. Did you want to chime in, President?
I did. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to say that I'm proud to be on this board and to work with so many great people. That I think that it's one of the programs that you can actually see across the city of Pittsburgh that it's dispersed and the funding is helping, across the district. It's geographically diverse. So I just really want to thank the URA and especially Jessica and the board for all their work on this fund, and especially that the work that's gone into my district. It's been above and beyond. Justin has gone to homes in Sheridan to have meetings with individual residents so that they can help connect. And Mrs. Bailey in Sheridan has helped people so much by working with Justin and Jessica. She keeps a file of applications at her home. And so she makes sure when she hears somebody in need, she's giving that. So it's been a really great outreach in a lot of different ways. I just want to thank you very much for your work.
Thank you. Thanks.
Although I do want to say, I'd like to see a little bit more spent on stabilization of current housing. I just want to say that.
Sure, and I also want to thank council for that action a week or two ago for more of the COVID money for us to use for our housing stabilization and our rental program. So thank you.
Thank you. Any further members on second round? If not, I'll simply make one comment, Councilman Wilson. Yes, City Council could absolutely provide more dollars to the Housing Opportunity Fund if we so choose. We would simply need to go back and amend the original legislation. When we did it, we provided $10 million for 10 years. I'm gonna argue that in the near future, we should probably actually go and extend that amount of time. And then we could also look at how much money we want to give. What I would also simply say is, and I'm gonna really echo thoughts that Councilwoman Strasburger shared with me yesterday, actually, where a while back we had talked about going to a bond to have even more additional resources for the Housing Opportunity Fund so they could have more resources up front. And I think, although we are in interesting financial times, we shouldn't let that conversation go. Because as she reminded me yesterday, we don't necessarily have to choose between addressing police reform and affordable housing. We could potentially be doing both. And in some ways we are already, but it doesn't mean we can't do more. So I think we should revisit sometime next year the conversation of potentially a bond. The last conversation we had at the URA with the banks, we were now in a position where they could justify actually providing a bond because we could justify being able to spend the money. We actually have more projects in the pipeline that we know of than we have dollars to give out. Now, again, we're in some interesting financial times, but at the same time, interest rates are at an all-time low. So if you're ever going to do it, this may be the time to do it. So that's just a conversation I think we should take up next year at some point in time. With that being said, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? The bill is highly recommended. That exhausts our agenda for today. I do have a number of meeting announcements. This afternoon at 1:30, Council's budget hearings will continue with the Department of Human Resources chaired by Councilman Kraus. Tomorrow, December 10th at 10 a.m., Council budget hearings are scheduled with the Department of Mobility and Infrastructure chaired by Mr. Coghill. Please keep in mind that public comment is not taken at budget hearings. Council will also hold our tax, budget, and citizen participation public hearing on Monday, December 14th at 10 a.m. Next week, council will hold our regular standing committee meetings on Tuesday, December 15th and Wednesday, December 16th, respectively at 10 a.m. To register to speak at the citizen participation public hearing or one of our council meetings, please call the city clerk's office at 412-255-2138 before 9 a.m. the day of, or email the city clerk's office at pittsburghpa.gov. Is there any other comments from members? Seeing none, we need a motion to, everyone showed up. Yeah, we need a motion to approve the minutes and adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned.